Hi, my name's Ashley, and today I want to talk about the ASPCA and a couple of their communication strategies. First and foremost, who is the ASPCA? ASPCA is the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty of Animals. They've been around for a while. Didn't know that. They've been around since 1866. The issues that they really address, the advocacy that they're involved in a lot of rescue efforts, both federal and state law reform, protecting farm animals. They are involved mainly with like things like mules, donkeys, and horses, but they do others as well. That's just their other that's their smaller loaf, part of their bread and butter. They do help provide some affordable vet services. Predominantly what that means is more your spayed neuter and maybe your distemper rabies vaccines. Just your the ones that are generally locally required or state required, I'm sorry. They also have efforts in animal welfare, and they do have some local shelter assistance. I'm gonna dip into that because it is actually important. So, their number one strategy, let's talk about it. TV ad from 2007. If you're not old enough for this, you probably still know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not playing the music, but I'm pretty sure it's playing in the back of your head. All right, this started in 2007. Sarah McLaughlin's McLaughlin, close enough. Her rise to fame really started in 2006. So bam, this ad is potent, powerful. It's got the pictures, it's got the few powerful words. Sarah McLaughlin talking about how you can help animals in need for it was something like 98 cents a day. You can do this. In 2007, they raised 85 million. By 2019, they're sitting at 280 million. They raised a whole bunch of awareness for neglect and abuse in animals. And I will also go to say different ways that it happens because I do remember a couple times growing up them showing videos of horses and not just dogs and cats. So this beautiful piece of art, this beautiful piece of campaigning and advocacy right here in one 2.5 minute video that would play so much louder than the TV show that you were watching. Strategy number two, no picture for this one. I have to say this one's kind of lame. But what they've really turned into is modern day tiny click ads, which they had to, but I'll get in that in a second. But tiny click ads at the bottom of websites or the bottom of your phone now. They're still using scrolling footage of abused and neglected animals. It's just now a clickable ad at the bottom of your phone instead of you being forced to listen to "In the Arms of the Angels." Okay. Effectiveness. Looking at Goldberg and Gustin, them talking about driving force, the efforts, the context, the system, it is all there. These ads that they put out were so powerful. The reach, it's generational. All right, people for days, for millennia. Okay, maybe not millennia, century, scores will be singing "Angel" every time they see a sad dog. This is my dog Deja on the left. She is a 120-pound Corso. She is sitting on my couch right next to me, and she is pouting because I'm not giving her love. We sing "Angel" to her every single time, and we cup her face and all of those jowls and just talk about how neglected she is. She's not actually neglected. Anyways, the effect, millions and millions and millions of dollars. Not only that, there is so much more awareness now for animal abuse and neglect, potentially a little too much. Different topic for a different day, but there's a lot of awareness. A lot more people are more prone to call it out now than ever before. I think that also has to come with cultural change, but I think the ASPCA was part of that cultural change. Durability, generational, 100% generational, because of Sarah McLaughlin and the use of footage with that song are forever interlocked. Forever. Now, the most effective strategy, obviously the TV ad. The picture, the songs, the videos, the sound of the dogs whimpering in the background. The sound of Sarah McLaughlin saying for 98 cents a day, you can help. It's not you can save, it's you can help. It's impressive. The pathos persuasion, 100%. That's what they're running with, and that's all they needed, especially when it comes to animals. It's impressive. Any missed opportunities? Not a single one. The advertising today just isn't nearly as effective because we don't have to sit there and watch the commercials. We don't have to sit there and listen to the music. We can skip or we just can hit mute while it's playing on the bottom of our screens. They're still raking in the money though. So just because the advertising isn't nearly as effective, people are still willing to donate because it's a sad dog or a sad cat or a sad horse on the front of their screen. Reflection. Using Vera Institute's reference on what good communication looks like. They did a great job locking into values via using pathos and locking into emotion. And they just did a great job. They did exactly what they needed to get their audience to do what they needed. Now here's the kicker though. These guys, unfortunately, like in my reflection of this, doing such a great job, it's wild to me that they actually hurt a lot of other local rescues. These guys are not a local rescue. They're not part of your local SPCAs. Your local SPCAs, your local shelters, 99 times out of 100 are actually not associated with the ASPCA. The only way, if they are associated, they're usually only associated with the fact that ASPCA ran out of room for dogs and they're dropping dogs off at other shelters to get those dogs home, to different homes in different states. They don't really let people know that. And even on their website, they're misleading because they say they support local shelters and they have these maps with these colors on it to show like where they're touching, where they're affecting, but they're not being completely honest about it. And there's actually a lot of people, a lot of shelters complain about how the ASPCA isn't helping them out and is taking a whole bunch of money that could be donated to their local shelters. The unfortunate, honestly, my unfortunate reflection on this from this and the previous assignment this week is it's unfortunate how advocacy and communication doesn't necessarily have to be honest to work. It just has to be powerful enough for the right audience to be effective. You can give them half truths. You just have to say the right words and people will back you. You just say the right words, show the right pictures, and people will back you. Whether or not all the information's correct doesn't play a factor a majority of the time. And usually by the time people know the right information, the damage is already done. People have already started advocating for something that isn't necessarily what they wanted to advocate completely for. I know that's an unfortunate reflection, but I do think it is an important one because it has to do with integrity and honesty in the way that you communicate and advocate for something that you're passionate about. Anyways, thank you for being here, and I hope you have a great day.